Before we start the video, I do want to say thank you for all the recent support. We have just recently hit over 100 subs and we just surpassed over 40k views in the past couple weeks. So it seems like you guys are really enjoying the videos. I will be sure to keep it coming out. And thank you again for all the support. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of this video, and make sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments below what you think of these changes coming to Lightfall. Another Wednesday twab. I called this last week that we are going to have more of these every single week. So why don't we jump into what Bungie has in store for us today. Economy updates and more coming in Lightfall. Destiny 2 has been an evolving experience since day one. Compare the game at launch with how it is now, and many might not believe you're talking about the same game. Live service is funny like that, but it also means more room to play for our developers to create thriving world and more creative ways the community can inspire what's next. Last week we talked about extensive changes to the evolution of build crafting. Today we're diving into how our in-game economy is changing, more into legacy focusing that has been talked about briefly, and giving a heads up to players about what's arriving and leaving the loot pool of greatness and other rewards. Umbral Engrams. Starting in Season 20, Umbral Engrams will no longer drop in Destiny 2. But don't worry, seasonal content will transition to use seasonal Engrams. Any Umbral Engrams that the player may still have in their inventory after Season 20 begins will be decryptable by Rahul. This I did not expect to see at all, where Umbral Engrams are completely gone, but what is going to happen to the past 4 seasons that we have been used to focusing? You know, the thought list, the Callus mini tool, the sales by pitch glass, all of that stuff. What is going to happen to those? How are we going to focus them? I don't know what's going to happen. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put this video right in the center of the screen. Make sure to go watch it to know what you guys should be crafting next. Ada1 wares. Ada1 is also selling D2 shaders that have been available for quite some time. Ada1 has wares if you have 10,000 glimmer, but keep in mind that she'll only be offering 3 shaders per week during Season 20. Oh my god, just release the whole catalog, please. Alright, here's what she'll be offering during Season 20. I'm going to put all these shaders on screen right now. I don't even know what they look like just from the name, so if you do have a specific one, just search it up and I guess they should be there, the image of it. But I'm going to put all them on screen, pause the video, go look at which ones you like, and then look every week to see if they're there or not, I guess. Just like the mods. Vanguard and Nightfall focusing. Starting in Season 20, Commander Zavala will offer the ability for players to focus Vanguard weapons and armor. Vanguard will be the final of the core rituals to get comprehensive engram focusing options. Yeah, we have seen this with Crucible and Gambit. Vanguard Engrams. Vanguard Engrams will be a virtual currency and will live exclusively on the rank progress bar on Commander Zavala. Vanguard Engrams may be opened individually by players directly on Zavala. Vanguard Gear Focusing. You can focus Vanguard Engrams directly into either Vanguard Armor or Vanguard Weapons. Vanguard Engrams do not need to be claimed in order to be spent on focusing. Individual pieces of gear must have been acquired at least once prior to being available for focusing. Vanguard armor available for focusing in Season 20 is a Photo Suede set. Class item is not focusable as class item do not have base stats. Vanguard weapons available for focusing in Season 20. Xeno Class 4, the Third Axiom, Royal Entry, Empty Vessel, Punching Out, Fortismo 11, Strident Whistle, Pure Poetry, Prolonged Engagement. Really, out of all of them, I'd focus on Royal Entry, in my opinion. Maybe Fortismo, but since we have the Heritage getting crafted, and maybe the Empty Vessel. Brand new Vanguard weapons are dropped only for a single season and are then available for focusing the following season. Zavala's focusing options will expand further during following seasons. Nightfall weapon focusing. Zavala will also offer Nightfall weapon focusing. Nightfall weapon must have been acquired from Nightfall strikes at least once before being available for focusing. Nightfall weapons focusing costs 1 engram, 20,000 glimmer, 50 shards. Nightfall weapons available for focusing next season. The Malicious Birthright, Mindbenders, Wendigo, Hung Jury, Swarm, Buzzard. So these you're able to focus. Wendigo was offered the last week of this season in a GM and Nightfall loot reward, so make sure to grab that. Out of all these, I would probably most focus on the Swarm, Hung Jury, and Wendigo. Buzzard is a new weapon, so we don't know what it is unless they list it here after, or maybe even tomorrow in the TWAB they'll tell us what kind of weapon it is. But there are a couple new weapons in this TWAB coming in Trials and Vanguard as well. So out of all these, I would focus on those 3 and maybe the Buzzard depending on what kind of weapon it is, what archetype, what kind of stats it has. Mindbenders is not really useful when you have Keitel Grenade Launchers, which is with Chill Clip in the kinetic slot. You have Ignition Code in the kinetic slot, so Mindbender's Ambition is not really that useful. I mean, Malicious Birthright is not really that useful, and Mindbender's Ambition is just getting outclassed by every other shotgun, so Adept Nightfall Ciphers. When completing Grandmaster Nightfalls, in addition to previously existing rewards, players will also acquire Adept Nightfall Ciphers. The number of ciphers that player earn depends on whether players qualify for Platinum, Gold, or Silver rewards at the end of Nightfall. Number of ciphers awarded per GM: Platinum 2, Gold 1, Silver 0. So you do have to kill all trimps if you want to get the most out of your stuff, out of your GM. I wonder how this is going to work for a normal Nightfall, like a Master Nightfall run. Would it be the same stats? Or would it be Platinum 1 for a Master Nightfall run? Or maybe you don't get it at all. For a deeper breakdown, Nightfall Weapon: 1 Vanguard Engram, 20k Glimmer, 25 shards, 0 Nightfall Cipher. An Adept Nightfall Weapon: 3 Vanguard Engrams, 50k Glimmer, 50 shards, and 10 Nightfall Ciphers. So that's about 5 GMs to focus one weapon, when if you are doing it on the week of that weapon, you will already get probably 5 or 6 of those weapons just by completing the Nightfall. So this is really useful only if you're doing the GMs when it's not that week of the weapon that you are grinding for. Because if you are grinding it on that week, you don't really need to focus anything to, you know, you're getting them as loot drops anyways. And if you want that extra chance, I guess you could focus it with the Adept Nightfall Ciphers. But other than that, you know, you can just wait for the week. I guess when it's not the week, you can sort of spend time focusing. Maybe it's an easier GM that week and you can grind the ciphers like that. Maybe it's like a 10-minute GM or something like that. Focusing costs. Adept Nightfall Focusing. Zavala will offer a single Adept Nightfall weapon for focusing each week, matching the Nightfall weapon currently in rotation. Okay, never mind. So you can't just focus everything. He will only offer 1 Adept Nightfall weapon. Adept Nightfall weapon available for focusing in 20, the Militia's Birthright, Mindbending the Mission, Wendigo, Hung Jury, Swarm, and Buzzard. Again, probably just going to focus on those 3, Wendigo, Hung Jury, and Swarm, and the Buzzard, depending on what it is. Legacy Gear Focusing. Vanguard and Nightfall Focusing isn't the only big update that focusing will get. In fact, every ritual will see growth in the number of items available for focusing as we introduce Legacy Gear Focusing. This system will allow players to obtain many pieces of gear from the last several years of Destiny 2, many of which have not been accessible for quite some time. Crucible. Armor sets available for Legacy Focusing: Sword Fight, Phoenix Strife type, Anka Seeker 4, Wing Contender, Wing Discipline, Wing Theorem, Cinder Pinion. Armor focusing costs. If a player has not acquired a piece of armor previously, this is how much it will cost: 3 engrams, 50k, 50 legendary shards, 10,000 glimmer. If a player has acquired the armor previously, it'll be 1 engram, 25 shards, 5k glimmer. So about cut in half. Vanguard. Nightfall weapons available for Legacy Focusing: Plug 1, Uzumi RR4, the Hothead, Comedian, Duty Bound, Silicon Neuroma, DFA, Horror's Least. Again, Horror's Least is this week, so make sure to focus on that. That's a good PvP weapon. I don't know how hard pulse rifles are getting a hit though. I mean, it seems like it's becoming a hand cannon meta as of now anyways, with the changes to shotgun and the hand cannon aim. But out of all these, definitely focus on the Hothead. The Hothead hasn't been in rotation for a while now, and I think since it's coming back, not even in the weekly loot rotation, but in terms of focusing, definitely focus on the Hothead. Second up, I would say Plug 1. You can get Reservoir Burst on it if I'm not mistaken, and then just work down the list, see whichever one you like, see what fits your playstyle, your build style the best. But the main 2, Hothead first, and then Plug 1. You definitely want Hothead for DPS. Adept version of Legacy weapons will not be available for focusing. Okay, so these will just be normal. Again, it's still really good. Don't even worry if it's not Adept or anything. Just hop on a boss spec and you'll be fine. Nightfall weapon focusing. If a player has not acquired the weapon previously, 7 engrams. Holy, what? 7 engrams, 100 legendary shards, and 10,000 glimmer. If a player has acquired the weapon previously, 3 Vanguard engrams, 25 legendary shards, 25k glimmer. This is really gonna suck for anyone that has not gotten any of these weapons in the past like year and a half. But holy, this is a lot. Like, even 100 legendary shards is a lot. The engrams, it's a lot considering that, okay, you haven't acquired it before, so you just play the game, you get those engrams. But I used to have like 20-30k legendary shards, and now I'm struggling. I'm at like 4,000 or 5,000, which is still more than what a lot of people have. They need to introduce a way to get more legendary shards. Every time I dismantle legendary gear, instead of getting like 5 or 4, give me like 50. That, like, these numbers for 100 legendary shards, 25 legendary shards, it's not really sustaining the economy, quote unquote, because we're not making enough to be able to spend this much. This is like real life modern crisis, bro. Vanguard armor sets available for Legacy Focusing: It took offense to Shelter in Place, Xenos Veil 4, Phobos Ward, and Vigil of Heroes. Vanguard Armor focusing cost. The player has not acquired a piece of armor previously. 3 Vanguard Engrams, 50 shards, 10k Glimmer. If you have acquired it, 1 Engram, 25 shards, 5k Glimmer. Gambit Armor sets available for focusing. Calamity Rig, Ancient Apocalypse. Gambit Armor focusing cost. If a player has not acquired a piece of armor, 3 Engrams, 50 shards, 10k Glimmer. If you have acquired it, 1 Engram, 25 shards, 5k Glimmer. Iron Banner. Iron Banner weapons available for legacy focusing. Arkan's Thunder, Wristwalker, Occluded Finality, Forge's Pledge, Peace Bond, Frontier's Cry. Iron Banner armor sets available for focusing. Forerunner, Will, Tourage, Fellowship, Remembrance. If you haven't acquired it, it's the same thing. 7 Engrams, 100 shards, 10k. If you have acquired it, 3 Engrams, 25 shards, 25k Glimmer. Trials of Osiris. The weapons available for focusing are Shayura's Wrath, Reed's Regret, Aisha's Embrace, Burden of Guilt, and Forgiveness. The adept versions of these weapons will not be available. Trials armor sets available for focusing is Pyrrhic Ascent and Exile. Same. Oh, damn. Is this the same cost as before? Oh, this is more cost than Gambit. If you have not acquired Trials gear previously, 7 Engrams, 100 legendary shards, 10k Glimmer. If you have, is 3 Engrams, 25 shards, and 25k Glimmer. Items like shaders, emblems, ghost projections, and other cosmetics that players can previously earn in game will be added to match rewards. This means players who missed out on cosmetic rewards in the past have a chance of receiving rewards like the Carmenica shader or the Red Jack projection at the end of the match. As of Season 20, we will see those legacy match rewards implemented for Crucible, Vanguard, Gambit, and Iron Banner. Details for legacy match rewards for Trials of Osiris will come down the road. Lower focusing costs. We reduce the cost of focusing across the board when focusing items that are currently in the ritual loot pool. Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard focusing will see the following costs. 1 Ritual Engram, 5k Glimmer, 25 legendary shards. Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and Nightfall focusing will see the following costs. 1 Engram, 20k Glimmer, and 50 legendary shards. Adept weapon focusing for Trials of Osiris and Nightfall weapons will see the following costs. 1 Engram, 50k Glimmer, 50 legendary shards, and a 7-win Trials ticket or 10 Adept Nightfall ciphers. There's the usual shakeup of the loot pool coming with Season 20. Here's what you need to know about what's on the way in and on the way out for loot to earn in Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner, and Nightfall Strikes. Trials of Osiris weapons leaving for next season. Forgiveness and Burden of Guilt. Trials of Osiris weapons being added. Astral Horizon and Immortal. Immortal is a new SMG. We don't know what kind of archetype or anything it is. Maybe we'll see in the coming weeks. Iron Banner weapons leaving in Season 19. Razor's Edge Sword, Frontier's Cry. Both don't really matter. Iron Banner weapons being added. Jerome's Claw and Bite of the Fox. Jerome's Claw seems like, to me, it's a new weapon, but when I look it up, it seems like it's already been here. Maybe it's just been a long time since it's come back and I haven't heard of it. But it is coming back if it was a weapon that was in the game before, but I don't really know. Nightfall weapons leaving in Season 19. Horror's Lease and DFA. Again, you will be able to focus Horror's Lease next season, but in terms of loot, it will be gone. This is the last week to grab Horror's Lease before Season 20 and before you have to spend hundreds of legendary shards to focus it, so make sure to grab it while you can. Nightfall weapons being added. Buzzard, oh, it's a sidearm, and the Swarm machine gun. Swarm hasn't been in the loot pool rotation for a long time now, so that is a good weapon. It's a good LMG. It's a high impact arc frame, so it is really good for ad clear. See anything in this blog post that you're surprised by, anything you were hoping to see, be sure to sound off over our new socials that will allow the community team to offer more insight into info, release, and gather invaluable feedback from all of you. These are the links, and don't worry, there will be more of these standalone blog posts in the future, so keep an eye out if you're looking to learn more about what's ahead in our journey to find a witness. I knew it. They're just gonna put so much info out there before Lightfall that is insane. It's literally D3 coming. It's a whole new game on the same engine. In terms of all these costs, I mean, it's great that we're able to focus so many things, and it's great that we're getting basically a whole new loot pool in terms of Vanguard, all this other stuff, and like Crucible and stuff. But in terms of the cost of some of these things, for any new player that is coming in and hasn't acquired, for example, the Hothead, or hasn't acquired the Plug 1, it is an insane amount of grind to be able to do it. And you know, it doesn't really affect me. I'm gonna be grinding every day anyways, but to the people that are not able to, it kind of sucks. Like 100 legendary shards, 7 engrams for something that you don't even own, and you know, you're gonna spend so much time grinding those 7 engrams. You're gonna get the worst roll possible, and then you're gonna have to grind another 7 engrams. It's just really annoying. I feel like they could make a better way to get legendary engrams. I think that's the main concern. Glimmer we come by easily. Engrams just come by playing the game. It's the legendary shards it's going downhill. My legendary shards are going down with no increase, with no income of legendary shards coming back to me. I do hope we do get some more clarification on this. Maybe there are some changes in terms of legendary shards economy, so maybe we'll see how that is. But in terms of the entire economy changes, it is really good. Just some of the costs are a little bit too high, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be releasing a couple more videos in the next coming days. We do have a twab coming out today, so make sure to be on the lookout for that, and we'll have that video up as soon as possible for you guys. Again, thank you for all the recent support, and you know, we did hit over 100 subs and over 40k views in the past 2-3 weeks, so it's really motivating. But thank you so much. I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.